Early in the morning, totally devoted. Welcome back to the GOAT Pod. I got a very special guest straight out of New Jersey by way of LA, where I met him, Mr. RJ. Thank you so much for joining the show, my boy.
Absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. GOAT Media 101.
You know what it is, man. RJ's been here for the weekend in Detroit, taking in some of the sights, taking in some of the the little neighborhoods. What do you think of Detroit so far?
Honestly, I love the vibe here, man. It's like I go some places the energy's a little weird, but Detroit, like, it's all love. The people here know what they appreciate, and I respect it big time, man.
For sure, for sure. I saw a little cup hookah in the parking lot, man. RJ's been getting up early and just enjoying the outside, and he outside with it
Big time.
So you're going on a tour this summer.
Yeah.
All right. And tell me about some of the other stops in your tour and what's the significance behind, your travels this summer, 2013.
Yeah, 2023.
Oh my, what am I? I got thrown off by a post that I reposted on my story, my personal story, which is like, man, people saying old school music is like that 03, 04, 05. Like, man, I'm old. But yeah, sorry, 2023, the tour. Tell me about it.
2023, big tour, big summer. I mean, we started off in Miami, and then we went back to New York, and then we're here in Detroit. Then we go to Chicago next. We end up back in Miami again. And this is all really just to keep spreading the awareness of blunt art. A lot of people don't know what blunt art is, and it's something that I've really tried to create.
Yeah.
And I found a few other people in the country that do something similar. And for those that don't know, blunt art is essentially blunt wrappers that you smoke and stuff, and I use the packaging as upcycled art collage material. And I'll make something like a Spider-Man or Powerpuff Girls, and now I'm getting more into portraits like Kobe Bryant and Jim Morrison. But yeah, it's only blunt wraps, no paint. I search for these different colors and basically make a collage. And I've also been trying to add more like themes and messages and meanings to these pieces, and not just like an exact kind of like replica of something.
Right.
So the last big art show I had, it was the Von Gala 2.0, 2.1 in Jersey. Pierre came out.
I made it out. Man,
yeah,
I had to make it out
for that. It was big
one.
time. And I had this money bag series and 4 different pieces, and they all connected in telling the story, the financial journey of an artist. And the first one, you kind of start as this money-hungry person, finding your thing. You don't got a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Second phase kind of becomes this blind money. You're giving out gifts, you're doing investments. You don't know what's going to work, but you're trying it blindly. You got faith.
Right.
Third one, money machine. You find what works. You find your niche, and then you just become a machine. You're day and night. You're working, you're grinding, and then eventually you get to that smart money. Everything is paid off. You've reinvested stuff, and now you're chilling, man. And that's what I'm really keep trying to grow into my art, these different meanings, because obviously it's all these characters that people know: Homer, Cause, Daffy Duck, Pink Panther. I put my own twist on it with different shoes, Tim's, Jordans, New Balance. And yeah, I even want another layer. I don't even know what it is yet, but I want to keep making this blunt art better and just more relatable, and hit the people where it hurts.
Hell yeah. So when I saw this, I thought it was very unique. It's so unique that I question, do you consider yourself the originator of it? Did someone inspire you? Talk to me a little bit about like how you came up with the idea, or maybe saw it or was inspired by a certain thing, because the concept of it, which is, each rapper has a story behind it. And just like in our lives and in our art, every little moment that we go through influences who we are in that moment. So how did you come up with this concept? Were you inspired by anybody or anything?
So I kind of just came up with it on my own back in like 2015, 2016. I was living in New York at the time with some roommates.
Yeah.
And we all smoked blunts heavy, and I would go pick some up, and I'd be like, what kind of blunts you guys want? And they're like, oh, we don't care. Just go pick up whatever. And I was like, yo, we're spending a lot of money on these wraps. We better start caring. So when I started just like taking into consideration the wrappers I was buying, I was like, no, I'm not going to throw away the wrappers. I'm going to just keep them, because like it was just all money. It all came back to like I'm wasting money. It's like I'm smoking the money away kind of thing. And I was like, no. Let me keep what I can and see what I could do with it. And then like I made this like big American flag because we were smoking games, all red and blue games only.
Sure.
And then I stopped for a while. And when the lockdown happened, I had thousands of wrappers that I'd just been saving for that exact like recycling, money saving reason. and I went crazy with it. And then when I found other people that did something similar with blunt rappers, they incorporate paint into their thing. So it's like I still give them the blunt rap title and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm the only person I've seen that like only uses the rappers and stuff. No paint, no outlines, no like, yeah. So I'll say I'm originating.
I like that. So like for me, like you just touched on something that's like super profound, which is like you taking something that's universally considered trash. Okay. It's universally considered trash, but you said, no, like this has value to me. And of that, you start saving things that have value to you, and then things that are seemingly of no value stacked up. And then with a little bit of art, they have value, not only in your eyes, but in collectors' eyes, in buyers' eyes, and all the people that not only support you, but that know you, but the people that don't know you and are truly inspired by these stories that these pieces tell. So you talked a little bit about the Von Gala. Before we get going, what does that mean? Who organizes it, and what? Is it an annual thing? Like, what's going on with that? I've been to one, but I just know the one. I didn't go to the first one. So.
Yeah. So the Von Gala is something that I just wanted to do. Like when I came back from LA, because I finished up college out there and I was living there for a while where we met.
Yep.
I wanted to do something for everybody back home. And I was like, I'm making a movie. We filmed it together out in LA, and I got a bunch of people involved in like the post-production process, doing the score, all locals to Jersey that I knew growing up. And then I had all these collage pieces, so I'm like, let me do like a 2-for-1 kind of like celebration, like a welcome back from like the lockdown, from everything, like celebration of life is what I was calling it.
And at the time, you're talking 2022, so like things are really finally starting to feel normal, and you're like, no, we got to celebrate this normalcy.
Absolutely. So I rented out like an art gallery down in like the meatpacking district of New York, and then black tie event. I wanted to do it with a bang. It was supposed to be, just like a one-time thing. Then maybe I'll do more art shows here and there. Yeah. But nah, the Von Gala just had such like a gravitating like presence. Like it resonated with so many people after the fact that I was like, no, we got to do this again next year. Yeah. And then I even tried to make it more local the next year. Like I brought it back to Jersey, like right across the river. Not too crazy. We don't go South Jersey, but
okay. I need to learn about that, man. You need to give me the tour trot like I gave you the tour when I come back.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like we even made it more like down to earth. It was I promoted it as like an underground art show, so nobody felt like they had to get too dressed up for this one, and it was just a consistency thing. So now people see like we're really in it, we're doing it. So now this third one, we're trying to bring even more people into it, and especially, I don't even want to like single out the cannabis community, but the whole message behind this next one is raising awareness for people that have been wrongfully incarcerated to marijuana. Yep. And I want people to see what we're doing with these blunt wraps and stuff, because there's such a stigma behind like just smokers. I'm not even going to say marijuana, but just like smokers in general. They get written off as lazy or unmotivated and stuff. And I just think the proof's in the pudding here of what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's not really fair. But we'll definitely talk a little bit about maybe a future Von Gala. But you talked about that first one, and you did graciously invite me. Thank you. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but you showed off the short film that we made together in LA. Talk to us a little bit about Day Trip and your experience making that as an amateur filmmaker.
I was like, Day Trip, that's my first baby right there. I love Day Trip so much. And it was actually a story that I've been trying to tell probably since like 2014. Yeah. And we didn't end up making it until 2020. And it was just a script that I was just loosely basing off what I had available, like access to locations, actors. The script was experiences that I've kind of been through and I could relate to, and then almost embellish a bit in a film theatrical sense. But yeah, it started off like in New York, and then when we moved to LA, like I just adapted the script. And then when the lockdown happened, I was like, dude, the whole acting industry is closed. I was almost out of work basically, besides my little stimulus checks. And I was like, nah, I got enough people here that are about it. So I started a GoFundMe. I really hashed out this script and like table reads with actors that I just knew on the scene. We did some Zoom calls and stuff. And then, when the GoFundMe finished up, we had about $2,000. I assessed what we could. I was like, we'll film the whole thing on iPhones. I'm like, the iPhone camera is so good that if you compare it to like a camera from like the 1950s or something, there's classic films from the 1950s that last the test of time, and it's about the story.
For sure.
So I'm like, the cameras we got, I'll put all the money into sound. Because the sound is like, you need that good boom operator, like the mixer. It makes your life so much easier, trust me. So yeah, and then paid a couple $100 to an AD here, DP there, and then yeah, we got it rolling. Like I said, I went back to Jersey, took care of all the post productions. I teamed up with Bridge the Gap Productions, the great local based Jersey production company, and yeah, they helped me with the special effects and the score of the film, and I was able to debut it at the original first Vaughn Gala.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I wish I would have been able to see the reception. As we talked about, like for me, I was super grateful to be asked to be part of this film. It was, something, a little out of my comfort zone because I had never acted on any type of short film or skit or anything like that. I had experience in stage, so I had fun with it, and it's like we joke about it's not going to win an Academy Award, but it's our baby. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? It's our baby. So thank you. I appreciate you asking me to be part of that.
Oh, dude, of course.
So let's talk a little bit about acting, and that's kind of how we. Oh, hello. That's kind of how we kind of bonded. Is we had met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and then we just talked about our interests. And talk to me about your acting journey. From Jersey to LA, back to Jersey, and what are your goals in this industry? What do you want to accomplish, and what do you want to, I guess, empower yourself with?
Definitely. I mean, I started off not in the arts at all. I was sports growing up, wrestling, 14 years, basketball, baseball, football, and I went to business school. My first year there, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
I had a friend there, a mutual connect. He was in the acting program. That was his major. And we had a conversation. I found out that I could do this as my major, and I was like, oh, I'm in. So I felt I had to catch up on some people that have been doing this their whole lives and stuff. So I went to this acting conservatory program in New York, AMDA, did 2 years there. And then after that, I tried moving out to LA and just starting like, I'm an actor. I could do this. I don't need no more school. I did 2 years, and I crashed and burned.
Yeah.
I absolutely crashed and burned. I won't get into details. I ended up in a jail cell in Calabasas. My parents ended up flying out there on a completely unrelated charge.
I did not know this. I might have to have that. I might have to hear the explicit story.
Yeah. The whole on a whole unrelated incident. My parents flew out. We had a hard conversation face to face. I came back to Jersey.
Yeah.
Basically got my life together, and that's when I started going back to school for acting in New York. And I was going to HB Studios and the acting studio, taking Meisner classes, while I was also working a graveyard shift down on Mott Street. I was a doorman, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., 5 days a week.
What were you doing there?
I was just a doorman in an apartment building, and I would just sit right there, and the people would walk in, and I'd be like, yep, and that was it.
Yeah.
And like I said, 2, 3 a.m. rolled around, no one, it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Game of Thrones, and that's when I watched the entire Game of Thrones series, like when I was a doorman at night. But then, yeah, I would just go to class at like 10 a.m. when I got off work. Spring semester came around. I was like, nah, I got to get back into like a degree program or something, make more connections, keep networking. So I went to the new school in New York for a semester, and it felt too much like business school. I was like, oh no, I'm in a classroom again. I'm not really acting. I'm like, I'm missing it. So then, yeah, I ended up going back to AMDA, but I had to go to their LA campus. Finished my last 2 years, got my bachelor's degree, and then I love acting school. I ended up going into the Groundlings program. I was working my way through their intermediate improv until the lockdown happened.
Right.
And I was still working on the side, like TurboTax commercial here, small short film here, just resume building, reel building. And now I've really realized that the industry is like a lot of other industries. People think, oh, I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to be an actor, I'm going to make it. It's like real quick. No. Every industry is a career and it's a marathon. It's a long-term thing. The average age for success in most industries is in your 40s. So if you're starting it now, just think of it as like consistent progress, and don't just take everything as a lesson. There's no failures right now. It's way too early in the game to declare anything a success or a failure. So I'm just like, what do I like about the industry? I like storytelling. I like that I could relate to people. I like that I could help people see the world from a different perspective. Do I like selling my soul out in a sense? Do I like being that
Right.
prostitute of like, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever, be whatever. Oh, you're gonna cast me, please cast me, please, please, please.
Right.
No, I'm not like that. That's not what I'm about. And it's gonna take a little bit longer to find success. But if I can make just one movie in my career that it's like, that is an Academy Award movie. That is an amazing performance. That deserves to last the test of time. That's all I need. I could do it in my 30s, in my 40s, I'm 27.
Yeah.
If I find that movie at 30, I don't know where my life goes from there. So I'm really enjoying the journey of acting and remaining a student of the craft. Like I said, I love going to school. So when stuff really starts to go full swing again, because we're on strike right now.
Yeah.
I definitely want to keep staying engaged in classes, auditioning for passion projects, indie projects. Like, I'm about the story. I'm not really about the studios.
No doubt, no doubt. And like storytelling, like that's really what Goat Media is all about, I think. You know, this company was built so that everybody could tell their story. And I let everybody know whenever they're coming on here, like there is going to be on Goat Media very dissenting opinions from guests that I have. That's the whole point, you know? We are supposed to have different opinions. We are supposed to talk from different sides of the fence sometimes and find a common ground if we can, or realize, hey, like we're not going to find a common ground, but we can respectfully have a conversation. So that's one thing that's beautiful about the art, specifically acting, is I will never know the experience of somebody that lives in Asia or Africa or even in a different neighborhood here in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So seeing that on the screen, and especially as an actor, we're learning when we get a role, right? We have to learn about who this person is. And then not only do we have to learn, we have to teach. We have to teach you who it is through the performance. So, man, it's awesome. So I try to ask all the actors I have in here, what's your dream role for a series or for a movie, either or?
And it's funny. This is usually like a standard question in acting class. They're like, who is your ideal career? Like, what actor would you compare yourself?
I like that, but one role.
No, that's why I'm trying to get down to the specific. And it's like, the one movie I would really like to do, or I would have liked to have done, is probably Whiplash.
Haven't seen it.
So it's Miles Teller. His role specifically. Okay. He plays this drummer in one of the most prestigious like music schools in the country. And he gets into like an advanced class, and the teacher of the advanced class is a very, very like verbal abusive like teacher, to the point that he's had students in the past commit suicide.
Wow.
And you see this student, this drummer, he wants to be the best. There's no excuses in his head. Like everything that could go wrong at times goes wrong, and he's still like bloody crying, I'm here to play the drums, like, and I'm like, damn, bro, that is such an inspiring film to me. And that's really all I try and do with my art, is just like inspire. And I'm like, that, and that wasn't the movie was nominated, should have won in my opinion, but it was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And Whiplash.
I'm gonna have to see that. And Miles Teller's a good example of somebody who he has a distinct take on things, in that he is unrecognizable sometimes. You know, talk to me a little bit about like something that you maybe somebody off rip who knows you doesn't think you can do what you want the challenge of in terms of an acting gig.
Someone that knows me?
Yeah. So like for me, like I would say someone that knows me probably doesn't think I could play a doctor. All right. Okay. Because I'm not a science guy, but I would love the opportunity to be able to prove that. So like, there's a small example.
See, that's it's funny because what everyone thinks I wouldn't do is usually think I get cast as the most, and that's a cop. And it's like, most people are like, yeah, you're not a cop. Like, I always get cast as a cop. Like, freaking, yeah. But I would say that's the one that I always get cast as. The one thing that I would say is probably, in my perspective, the most challenging for me to go there would probably be like a rom-com, like that lovable, like simp almost, like, and like,
he doesn't know how to be me, guys. He doesn't.
And that's the thing. No. It's hard to be you sometimes, and it's like everyone's got a little simp in them, but it's like it's easy to go somewhere that you're not. It's like, oh, I can act mean if I'm not usually mean, because like that's not me. But it's like, be you right now. And it's like, I don't I am me. Like, what do you mean? Like, how do I
Right.
be? And it's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe that that's you. Like,
Right.
all right, okay, bet.
That's
But,
funny.
yeah.
So we're talking about simps. Some people call your boy Drake a simp. Would you consider Drake a simp?
Drake's a businessman. What are you talking about? He's a businessman in all areas.
Yeah. So Drake is somebody that I know that you hold to the highest esteem. Tell me if there's anybody else close to you in the GOAT debate.
In the GOAT debate, you were talking all time, not this generation, right?
Yeah.
All time, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne is definitely a GOAT in so many regards. One, there is no Drake without Lil Wayne. So like by association alone, right there.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then two, the mixtapes that Lil Wayne did, that run it's never really been seen before. The way that he was able to go on any one song and make it his song.
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it, man. And that's GOAT mentality right there. Like,
For sure. And I like the point that you make, which is like somebody like a Drake, he's been at his peak forever, but the height of Lil Wayne's peak is probably higher than anyone has ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, so I like that one. Do you want to talk about your Giants or
let's do it, man. Dude, if I get a chance to talk about I got Knicks socks on too, man. What you know about that?
Oh my God.
I'm here to talk sports.
Hey, show those Knicks socks again. Hey, G, is that in the frame? Can they see the socks? All right, cool. They can see the socks. Now.
No, Giants.
Give me how many, and this is without just dissecting the schedule. Give me how many wins do the Giants get this year, and just tell me, like, is Daniel Jones like a good quarterback or what? You tell me. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the Giants should, no injuries, God forbid, nothing. We get 10
God
wins.
forbid.
We get 10 wins this season. 10-win season. Daniel Jones will be a top 10 quarterback after this season.
Oh,
Undeniable.
oh, you hear that, folks?
I'm declaring it. I'm putting it out there because two, he's a dual threat.
Yep.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks that have the ability physically to do what he is able to do. Daniel Jones, you could hear it from everybody. I'm not going to harp on it too much. Never had a fair shot. No offensive line. No weapons. This year,
No continuity.
He's got it.
Yeah, in the coaching. Yeah.
he's got a coach of the year behind him.
Yeah.
He's got Darren Waller coming in. Offensive line, we're shaping up. Andrew Thomas got big money for a reason. Evan Neal, I have faith. And we drafted my boy JMS, big center out of Minnesota, I believe.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
Okay, so 10 wins. Now, I want to get your prediction on the Lions. Now, I know you've been paying a little bit of attention to the Detroit Lions. And over here, a lot of people sip the Kool-Aid. This is these are like my brothers, and I'm obsessed with the Lions. I'm just the type where I'm skeptical. I believe in them. God did. I did. I'm believing. But I'm skeptical. From the outside looking in, as someone from New York, from New Jersey area, you know football. Okay? What do you think about the Lions this year?
Dude, I like the Lions this year, and the reason I really followed them heavy was because we were competing for that wild card spot last year. So I'm like, I needed to know what you and the Seahawks were doing every week. And I think now you have such a good chance to take your division. I don't even want to worry about you guys in a wild card kind of thing because Rodgers is gone. The Vikings, they seem to be in this weird phase of like Cook's gone, Kirk Cousins is like consistently okay.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson wants to be a star, and it's like go deal with that circus. And I don't believe in the Bears. The Bears is where I'll be skeptical.
Yeah.
The Lions, you could take your division this year.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel you guys are at.
I'm hoping so. I think it's gonna be like a mediocre division along the board. I hope that Detroit can win 11 or 12 games. I think my over-under, I don't know what the exact over-under is. I wouldn't take the over for 11.5 for sure. I'd have a hard time taking the over at 10.5, but I think 10 wins should be a lock this year.
Yeah, and like nothing's guaranteed. And at the end of the day, it comes down to coaching a lot.
True.
And the Lions and the Giants coach has massive cojones, if you know what I mean.
I
because
know.
they'll go for it on 4th and 59.
That's true.
Every time.
That's true.
And I love it. I love it. It's football. That's how we beat Tennessee. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's right. And Jalen Hyatt, man, you brought him up yesterday. I think he's the most underrated player in that draft. And we have Hendon Hooker here in Detroit. So that connection from Tennessee, I really think he's super underrated. And I might, if I end up getting in that dynasty league, I'm gonna be
You saw how fast he is?
Yeah, he's got wheels, bro.
He clocked in faster than Tariq Hill in practice. He is officially
Are you joking?
the fastest player in the NFL right now. Came in at 24 miles per hour.
Yo, that's wild.
There's a new cheetah in New York.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. What about the Knicks, man? You talked about them, man. Dude, what's the plan for the Knicks, man?
I'm hyped on the Knicks. Oh, it's going off. The counter's going off.
Let's
It's going crazy.
Let's go. We just got a little follow. Yeah, so appreciate it. G. Let me get one of those real quick, man.
Appreciate
But,
it.
I really do. I really do.
The Knicks are, dude, it's going to come down to one man this year.
Yeah.
And no one is saying his name enough, and that is Tom Thibodeau.
Ooh, Tibbs.
Tibbs has all the resources he needs. He has a good, very good point guard.
Yes.
Jalen Brunson, one of the best in the East, hands down. You have a 2-time All-NBA player in Julius Randle, one of the only players in the league to average 20, 10, and 6.
Yeah.
It's something special. Use him correctly, please. Don't let him be your main ball facilitator and stuff. RJ Barrett, sky's the limit. Emmanuel
How old is
Quickly,
he again?
23.
Okay.
Quickly and RJ, both 23 years old. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm sounding like the Pistons, that we got a young core that's going to last the test of time, but like Grimes too.
Yeah.
I love Quentin Grimes. He's starting since his rookie year. Mitch Robinson, 7-footer. Every team needs one. Like, the pieces are there. Tom Thibodeau, please just do the right thing. Like, please, like, don't play our guys 40 minutes a game in December when,
Yeah. Good luck to the Knicks, man. I got to get to the Garden, man. Is it as special as they say?
oh yeah, I was there when we beat Miami, and electric, like one of the best, if not the best, sporting events I have ever been to in my life.
That's
like,
dope. How was the Drake concert there?
the Drake concert was sick. I was on the floor down there, and I'm throwing fucking business cards at Drake when he's walking through the crowd and stuff. But nah, dude, that was a surreal experience. I saw Bad Bunny at Yankee Stadium last year on the floor. So this year, Drake and MSG. Maybe like next year, I see Young Thug at MetLife on the floor. Like,
Yeah, right. So tell me a little bit about how, and you've lived in both places. I would say like the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area versus the LA area. What is like the biggest differences? What are the biggest differences in your opinion between I guess East Coast and West Coast?
The biggest one off the top is like walkability.
Yeah.
I when I'm in New York, because I live 10 minutes outside the city. So when I just go into the city, I take a quick bus, quick train. Dude, I walk everywhere. Or I'll city bike real quick anywhere. LA, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
I used to work in Santa Monica, and I would have to take like the bus and a train from like downtown. It was 2 hours both ways. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I would say that's one. And then two, the weather. Like, I hate the cold. I'm not a fan of the winters in New York. I go to LA or Miami when the winters come.
Yeah.
And yeah, LA, they definitely got it with weather.
Yeah.
But New York, I mean, I'm sure people hear this all the time. There's such a genuine raw love there that I don't see it in a lot of places. I'm not going to single out LA, but like, they'll tell you like to your face, like, you're ridiculous. I don't want to curse. I'm like, you're a goof. They'll be like, yo, you're a goof right now. You're dressed like a goof kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because they care about you that much. In LA, you could be dressed like a goof and people be like, you look great. Like, and I'm like, no, man, don't you care about that person? Tell them how it is. Shoot it straight with them. And like, that's what New York is like known for. And people think we're a little too blunt, too blunt art, a little too whatever. Nah, that's New York.
I hear you. The one thing that's really special about both places, every time I go, and I've been to New York for a couple circumstances, and I can't wait to go back, is both of the cities have an energy where like you could do anything and you could meet any CEO, any casting director, any modeling agency, any music producer. Like, that shit happens, and we've seen it. I'm sure you've seen numerous celebs everywhere, in both cities, and those are opportunities to make connections. And it also lets you know that these dreams that seem so unattainable when you live in a suburban environment are actually things that real people have done in this life. And who says that we can't be those people?
Absolutely. I saw Spike Jonze, a famous director, last week. He directed Jackass. He directed Her. And he was just like walking with his brother, like in the city. And I was with a friend I went to college with. He's really into photography. Him and Spike Jonze had the same exact film camera, like old school film. Like, and he was just like, hey man, I like your camera. And dude, Spike Jonze was like, thank you. Like, he was so nice. And like, I almost felt like he wanted to carry the conversation on, and we were like, all right, see you later, like, bye. And he was like, but camera, like, and nah, everyone's just so nice there too. Like, I don't know.
That's
LA,
cool.
it's, if I meet, like, I met one of the Paul brothers. Like, that was the first celebrity. I'll never forget it. It was like in W Hotel, like mid walkway. I think it was Logan Paul. And he like just like finished filming a YouTube thing. And I'm like cutting through there. And I was like, what's up? What you filming? And he was just like, like, I was like, oh, like, I don't like LA. Like, it was my first week there. And like, but they're everywhere. Yeah, they're like everywhere. I think it's the individual too. It's not always the place.
Of course. Yeah, of course. There's and you know, there's always the next star, right? There's always the next person. And like, I feel like sometimes you'll run into somebody who might look at you as a fan, which we all are, but there's sometimes where they say like they give you the respect because they were in that humble position before, so they're never gonna look at you like look down on you as if you're nothing, knowing like I've been there, you can be here. It's all part of life. You just got to grind, you know, and not stop, not quit.
Consistency is key, man.
Yeah, no kidding, bro. What else did you want to talk about while we're here on the show, man?
Yeah, I mean, we brought up consistency. I want to talk a little bit about this law of manifestation that I've been working on, trying to help the people out a little bit.
We had some great conversations about it. Tell everybody about the law of manifestation.
So I've been trying to adapt some, I guess you can call them like theories, ideologies, like, yeah. So basically there's the law of attraction where it's like if you do positive things, you attract positive things. If you do negative things, you attract negative things.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get a little more specific with like a plan of action. I actually put a formula kind of to this thing and test it out. So I've been developing the law of manifestation, which is like a build on the law of attraction to manifest whatever you want in life. And I believe that there's certain elements that go into it, such as consistency, such as positivity, such as specificity. You need a plan of action. You need to verbalize it. And then you need to output that energy to really attract it back to you. And it all ties into all these different theories and ideas over the history of time. But even if I don't stumble upon the exact like correct formula, I hope that I can keep progressing these ideas and someone can kind of pick up where I leave off at the end of the day. And eventually we can make the world somewhat of a better place just because it doesn't have to be so glass half empty.
Yeah.
It's like if you really want to make something happen, like you put your mind to it, you work really hard, you come up with a plan, you collaborate with other people, you get them involved, and it can happen. You just got to stick with it, man. And the main key in my formula right now is time equals rarity. However rare or difficult the thing is you're trying to manifest, that equals how long it's going to take you. So I eventually kind of want to put all this into a book and publish the book. I've already published my poetry book. I did that for my 27th birthday. It's called Who Said Peace Was So Great? And it was more of a thank you to kind of just everybody that had been supporting my art. Because the blunt art took off and not everybody could buy it. It's pretty expensive. And I wanted to give something that everyone had access to.
Right.
So I got this publishing deal and it's available now on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart.com, Kindle, everywhere.
Yep, go
for
check
like
it
$10.
out. Yeah, go check it out.
So
I have my own signed copy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and I brought some to Detroit. I'm gonna leave them out like a little Easter egg kind of thing around the city for people. But nah, and all the poems are different because I understand everyone's different. So I don't think anyone's gonna pick up a book and be like, oh, every single poem resonates with me. That's never been the case in any poetry book ever. So I'm like, let me make all these poems as different as possible. So hopefully there's one in here for every person.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone, I'm like, find your poem in the book. It's in there. There's one at least in there for you. And I hope that you keep the poetry book around. So as time goes on and your situation and perspective on the world changes, maybe another poem starts to resonate more. And that other one, it's like, that was a previous chapter in my life. Now we're moving on to poem 22 or something.
Sure.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that's really special about the formula was one of the equations that you had given me, which I thought was really profound, which is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your consistency has to be equal to your energy.
Yes.
Which is so true. If you're trying to do something every day, it's really not going to operate as efficiently if your energy isn't super uptight there. Now you need both. You can sometimes we might be down and sometimes we might have high energy but not be as consistent. But you're never going to reach max potential if you're not have a great attitude about what you're doing and have a great energy about what you're doing and also putting in the maximum amount of work. This is how you get the best results. And I believe that firmly, which is, why I definitely wanted to talk about it. So
dude, 100%. And like, even like walking up here, I was typing more about like the theory in my phone because it hit me too. I was like, the energy has to equal consistency. It has to be the same. Like, but that energy is directly related to positivity. So it has to be positive energy that you're consistently putting in.
Right.
And the energy, like we've had this conversation, it's never created or created or destroyed. You can only transfer energy. You eat something, you get energy. You speak, you throw the energy back out. You exercise, energy is really like you can't destroy or create energy. So try and fill yourself with positive energy, positive people, good food, and then you can consistently put out positive energy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's dope. I love that, man. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of the formula?
The formula?
Or anything, really.
I would say the formula, I would really appreciate if people could test it out. Like, I want you to actually think of something that you would like to manifest. Come with a plan of action that you genuinely want or need or something. And come up with a plan of action, verbalize it to people, get real specific with it. The more specific you get, the more specific the universe can be in delivering you what you need or delivering you to who needs you. And just stay with it consistently, keep that positive energy in the equation, and let me know if it works. Because if it doesn't work, that's a success. Right. We're trying to test these formulas until they fail so we can keep adjusting them and getting closer and closer to the actual answer.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So, anything else you want before I think we're about that time? What are we at, G? 37. Perfect.
Nice.
All right, cool. So, we have a little bit more time. Anything else you want to talk about before we take off?
I was just gonna say, my main reason for like art. That's really what I want to dive into right now.
Yeah, talk about your purpose, my boy.
It's like art. I'm trying to start up what's known as an artistic revolution. And if you go back in time, there was the Renaissance period when art kind of took the forefront of society. In society today, you may agree, disagree. I think there's a disconnect. I don't know what creates the disconnect, whether it's social media, AI, even the lockdown back, I don't know. But like, I don't think people go face to face. They don't engage person to person as much anymore. And I think art could be the solution to this problem. What art does, it allows people to show a side of themselves or express something that they may have difficulty verbalizing or just putting into a dialogue, words, conversation. So I put it in a painting, or I put it in a song, or I put it in a movie in hopes that someone could understand where I'm coming from and empathize with me. But we've kind of taken that out of like the day-to-day life. Art is now a job. Art is how can we make money? If this is my business, art isn't my goal. I'm here to sell benches or whatever. So if I'm selling benches, I'm going to make the most benches that are going to last the longest for the least amount of money because that's good business. And like, yeah. But if you really want to bring people together and stop this disconnect, you need someone that really cares about benches. And they're like, this is a good bench. And they see the art in the bench. I think everyone's an artist. There's so many people that are like, I don't sing, I don't draw, I'm not an artist. I don't care if you work in a cubicle and you make dashboards. That was something that you visioned. You thought about that dashboard before you created it. That's art. You're a bartender, art. I don't even got to tell those people, they know it. So if you go back to a bench person, they're making a bench for a park. If you just have the cheap, simple bench park thing, people are going to look right past that. They're going to graffiti it. They're going to try and make it into art because it's so bland and stuff. If you have someone that genuinely knows benches, they know that park, and they know how to complement the two, they're going to make a bench that allows other people to see the beauty of that park. They're going to show their perspective of that park through their work, thus connecting the community. And that's really something I'm trying to make like the forefront of my next Von Gala also.
Yeah.
We're going to try and raise awareness and raise some funds for people that have been wrongfully incarcerated to marijuana. And we're also going to try and inspire people to lean into those artistic urges. Just don't dismiss them. I don't want no one to quit their job and like stop making benches and start painting. Like, no. Keep doing what you're doing. But just don't be afraid to put a little bit of you in your work, because that is the art. That's all it is. People are like, no. Putting you in what you do, that's the art.
Amen, brother. I couldn't have said it better myself. So that's the main reason that we vibe, is because we realize that we're both individualistic artists, but we bond through sharing the story through the artwork. And you make a great point. I think that New York City and New Jersey, the culture there is the best place for you. Do you plan on staying there for a while?
So that's always home base. Like Detroit's your home base.
Yep. Can't get away from it.
I tell people I live in Miami now just because like that's my space.
Yeah.
But my art studio's still in Jersey, right outside the city. I mostly work in the city with different collaborations, different businesses. Most of my art is hung up in galleries in New York. And then I still like to vacation in LA. So I'm like, that's a little spot 100%. That you find me at too.
Yeah, LA will always be home for me too. And as scarce as I try to make it out there, which all my LA friends, man, I'm sorry. I've been meaning to get out there. Which I will by the end of the year for sure, if not once or twice. But there's something special about home base. So I'm glad everything is going good, man. Anything else before we take off?
You trying to get a freestyle in?
Oh man, it ain't gonna be a freestyle for me, but G, you want to grab your headphones just so you can hear the beat? Give RJ some Hypnotize, man. I know he knows a little Biggie.
Oh man,
we don't.
We don't got that.
We don't got that one. What do we got? All right, give him. I don't know if you could do anything with that, but play Nice for What?
Let's see. I'm gonna try.
I want to know who motherfucking representing it here tonight.
You saw that Drake freestyle? He's like gra, like gra.
I swear, whenever Drake freestyles, he turns into 7 different people.
Yo, he does. Combination. Yeah. I'm turned up. Detroit. Turn me up.
Let's go.
As the Drizzy says.
Murder on the beat.
Murder on the. Come on. What's up? I just wanted to drop. I want to drop. Here we go. I'm not going to wait for the drop because I sip it when it's hot. Talk about the tea. You know me, RJ, in these streets. I do a meet and greet with my boy Dom. You already know. Lions Jersey, that boy good in Jersey. Yeah. Holla at us, me and Pierre. Coming over here, yes, Dier. I already know I rock Dior. Coming over here, I need a comb for my curls. Coming over here, yeah, I am your world. Holla at your girl. Oh boy, I'm about to her. I get real sick when I get romantic. Talk about me, boy, no, it's not static. This is chemistry. What you know about this energy? What you know about these threes? What you know about me? I just told you everything, it's on my sleeve. Talking tatted up, baby girl, I'm batted up. By the hit dingers, no bunt, I smoke blunts. Woo! Big token, you already know I'm not joking. Coming over here, no, I'm not dead, I'm not croaking. Boy, I'm so stoked up, yeah, I do this shit like, oh man, up.
Yeah. Yo, that shit was wild. Yo. Give him a round of applause, man. Yeah, give him a round of applause, man.
One take Drake.
Yeah, one take Drake. Yo, that was sick, man. I always say, man, freestyling is a skill I don't have, so I admire it. I love it when someone can drop some fucking heat out of nowhere. I really do appreciate it, for real, though. That was fun. That was fun,
a great
man.
time.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming through Detroit. Thank you for stopping by the show. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for extending your hand to me and sharing your network with your boy. It's meant a lot, man. It's meant a lot, and it's a great manifestation for you to be here. And many more to come. I want to do a show a year with you.
Absolutely,
so
man.
So every year, maybe next year I'll come to Jersey. Or Manhattan. We'll do something.
Yeah, maybe go to Miami. We do one on the beach like that.
Now you talking tough. I can't wait for that. Appreciate you coming through. Anything else you want to plug before we take off?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to tap in, just RJ knows best. Follow me on everything.
Yup, follow the boy on everything. And other than that, I guess all I can say is we'll see it.